Hello and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to sew this waistcoat. We have done a video on how to cut. Today we're going to sew it. But before we go ahead to sew this waistcoat, we have to first of all use our suit gum, alright, to gum the waistcoats, the bad side. So this side and this side we are going to use our suit gum to gum it before we proceed with the sewing. So let's quickly gum it. Alright, so as you can see, we are done applying our suit gum to both sides. Alright, you can see this. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut the, we're supposed to turn this see, this is how this waistcoat is going to be. So I was supposed to turn this in, so we're going to cut what we're going to use for the turning in of the front piece. Alright, so this is, we use this white. Alright. So we're going to use this white. Okay. And this should give us what we want. So we're cutting for both sides. Alright. As you can see, we're going to cut like this. Now if you want, you can also go ahead and apply your suit gum to this both sides, but I don't want to do that. It's not compulsory. So the next thing for me to do now is to separate this. You know, I gummed it all together. I'm going to separate it. See? Alright. See the same thing. I'm going to separate this what I want to. Alright. So I'll go to the machine now. I'm going to the machine. I'm going to simply run a stitch here to join it together. Alright. So as you can see, I finished joining the line. You can see the line. Alright. The same thing on this side. You can see. If I turn to this side now, you see how it's looking. This is the front. So the next thing for us to do is quickly press this. Alright. So we'll do this on the second side as well. Yeah. Alright, so we are going to use this for the pockets. As you can see, we are done pressing both sides of the waistcoat. Alright, so we are going to use this for the pockets. Okay, so watch how I am going to mark the pockets before stitching them. Okay, I'm going to mark, this is a wideness of 5, so half of 5 is basically 2.5. Alright, so this is the half. Okay, the wideness is 8. Okay, because the wideness of this pocket I'm targeting is just 5 inches wide, and that's okay for me. Alright, so we have marked the center here, which is 2.5. So this is 2.5 here. This is 2.5 here. Alright, so I'm still going to mark ½ inch from this 2.5 and half inch downwards. So beside it, half inch from this 2.5 here, so we're going to mark half inch here, half inch here. So I'm having altogether 3 lines. Okay, this is the center line, which is 2.5. Alright, hope you can see this. I'm using pen so that you can see what I am doing clearly. Center line. So I mark half inch this side, half inch that side, half inch this side, half inch that side. Alright, so I'm going to still join these 2 points using my pen. Like I said, I'm using pen so that you can see it clearly. And also guys, if you check in the description below, there's a link to my WhatsApp group there. Please hit the link and join me. Click the link and join me on WhatsApp so that you'll be receiving my notifications. Alright, so next I'm going to do now is to identify the center. This is the length of this is 7.5. So the center of 7.5 should be this 3/4 here. And the wideness of our pocket we say is going to be 5 inches. So this is 5 inches. Alright, 5 inches. Alright, so our pocket, we are going to fix it. It's going to be located at 6 inches from down. We measure from down here 6 inches. So this is what our pocket should be. Alright, but we don't want our pocket to be straight like this. Okay, let's first of all get this line. This is 6 inches line. Alright, but we want our pocket to be slanty. Alright, so we'll mark half inch down here and half inch up here. Hope that is clear. Then we'll join these 2 points so that our pocket will be what? To be slanty. Okay, so this is where our pocket is going to be. This center mark I made here will match with the center line here, like this, and then our pocket will slant down. So we are going to stitch this pocket on this line and this line, leaving out this one. Alright, this line and this line. So for that reason, let's make a notch here. Let me show us how we're going to fold this pocket. And guys, if you understand how to fix this pocket, it means you have also known how to fix pocket for a trouser, the back pocket of a trouser. So if you can pay attention and understand this, then you are good to go even with a trouser. It is that simple. Alright, so press it this way. Alright, so we're going to see what I did. I pressed on this line to be like this. So we're going to stitch this line and this line on top of this line here. Alright, so keep it like this to be slanty, like this. This center line here will match with the center of this pocket here. Alright, so it's going to be like this on this line we drew. So we're going to stitch it here and here. Alright, that's simple. Alright guys, so as you can see, we have made the 2 stitches on this line and this line. Okay, starting from here and then here. If we turn the back side, you can see that the pocket is actually in the center of this line. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do now is to watch how I'm going to cut this. Okay, I'm going to cut the center of the one I've sewn, the center of it. Guys, like I said before, there's a link in my description. If you want to join my WhatsApp community, click that link and join my WhatsApp group so that whenever I drop my videos, you'll be the first to be notified. So another thing very important is how to cut this. You can see that I'm cutting it. Very important, very important. You must know how to cut this. When you're cutting, don't allow your scissors to get to exactly where you started stitching. Alright, so I'm cutting it. I'll still turn this other way. I'll cut like this. See where I started stitching here? I won't really reach that place. And if already you have known how to fix a back pocket, then I'm sure you don't have a challenge with this. Alright, So you see I'm done with that. If you turn this behind, you see, can you see it's more clear behind? Can you see though I cut it? I didn't touch where I started stitching. You see. So the next thing we're going to do now is to simply see, that was why I hemmed this, okay, so that I will already have the size my pocket forming. So I'll just push this inside. All right, you see this. I also push this inside, push it this side inside, okay, and our pocket will form automatically. Can you see this? Our pocket is forming. It is quite simple. Can you see how it has formed this side? Very easy and straightforward. Same thing this side. I'm trying to make it look very, very simple as possible. Can you see this? So both sides of our pocket are formed. Can you see this? Very simple. Let's press it and then see how it's looking. Turn this way, open it this way. Let's be sure that it's properly arranged. Okay. Then we press it. Wow, guys, can we see this? Guys, can you see how simple this is? Can you see this? This is very, very simple. Very simple. It's not difficult at all. It's very simple. So you can see that our pocket is slanting this way instead of coming straight. Alright? You can see that our pocket is slanting instead of coming straight. Okay, so that was intentional, right? We want it to slant. The more, if it slants, it is much more beautiful than just standing straight. Okay? You can see our pocket forming very, very simple and straightforward. So the next thing we're going to do is to get the machine, stitch this here, all right, close it back, same thing to this side. We'll stitch it here, close it back. All right, guys, so as you can see, you see where I stitched it. Just stitch it here. Still with the other side, I still stitched it here. That's what you can see here and here. So the next thing now is this. I don't like my waistcoat carrying pocket because I don't, it's not, when you put something in the pocket of a waistcoat, it might make it to lose shape. So I normally close my waistcoat, I match it here, okay. So but you want to put pocket, you can go ahead and attach pocket inside here. But since I'm not putting pocket, I'll just go ahead and run a stitch here and I'll close the pocket entirely. All right. So you see, guys, you can see our pocket, very simple and clean. I'll close it, you see, very simple and clean. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same for this side. All right, I'll do the same for this side. Okay, I'll do the same for this side. All right, guys, so you can see I'm done with the pockets. You can see this. So these are the pockets, I'm done with them. So see, so the next thing for us to do is to stitch this lapel and turn it in. Okay, these are the lapels for both sides. This one is for this. So we'll simply go to the machine and run a stitch from here to here to here to here, and then we'll stop somewhere here, right, on both of them. All right, guys, let's go. So you can see we have run the stitch from here to here to here. The next thing for us to do is to notch these edges so that we can turn it over neatly, and to notch the curve here so we can easily turn it over to the back. Very important. Alright, so just to turn it out. Neatly. This point here will actually notch it well, so we can turn it out. You turn it such a way that the white is not showing from outside, from the front, the good side, right? And when you turn this way, we shouldn't be seeing the white. You can see. Shouldn't be seeing the white when you turn this way. So we'll go ahead and do same. See this? So the next thing for us to do now is to get a lining that will complete this part for us. Right? And we just need a lining of 24 inches long by 6.5 wide. Alright, 6.5 wide by 24. So let's check this out. We're looking at 24 by 6.5. This is okay up to that, and we're looking at 24 for the length. I don't have 25 here. So we need two of them actually for the two sides. Alright, so we'll go ahead and go back to the machine, and we will attach this here. Alright, we'll attach this here to complete the lining of this side. So guys, I simply kept the lining like this. Alright, the lining I cut, I simply kept it like this, and I stitched it on 1/2 inch, alright, just to turn to this side. So I will press it. You can see this. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to, let's turn it this way. See how it's looking? Next thing I'm going to do now is to trim this lining here. Alright, so we simply turn it over, alright, and continue with this stitch here, alright, to the end here. That's all. So guys, so I've simply run this stitch. We'll continue the stitch from here to here, and so we'll turn it over now. Okay, I'll just press it to lie flat. All right, so after that, guys, you see this is making sense, right? We're almost there. We're going to trim off these excesses here, and then also here. See this? And I'll also trim this off here. Alright, so guys, you can see how this is looking. Now guys, please pay attention. I'm going to trim off this line a little to short. Shouldn't be the same wideness with the main body of the waistcoat, so that when I'm done turning this lining in, I want the lining not to show from outside. That's why I'm doing this. Just watch what I'll show you when I'm done, you see. So now I'll go over to the machine. I'll turn it this way. All right, turn it this way, and I'll go over to the machine and I will stitch here. All right, I will stitch here to here. Okay, hope we are following. I've made a stitch from here to here, so I'm going to notch it, okay, so that when I turn over it will be looking just flat. After notching this, I'm going to turn it over. Okay, so you see guys, can you see this? This is making sense, right? Guys, if this video is making sense, if you are liking this video, if it's making sense, please hit the like button, drop a comment, and I would really appreciate if you can drop a comment for me, guys. I would really appreciate that. As you can see this, you see what I was showing you. It is because of that little allowance I removed from the lining here that you can see the good side is showing the inside, so that the lining won't show outside at all. Can we see this? Very simple and straightforward, guys. So at this point, I guess we are done with this piece here. We are done with this piece here, so we can go ahead now to work on the second piece. Alright, we are done with this piece. You can see it. Alright, so we are almost done, guys. So go ahead and work with the second piece as well and get to that level. Okay, so guys, as you can see, we are done arranging both sides. See this? Both sides are ready for us to now attach our lining. Alright, so to attach lining is quite simple. This lining is in 2 layers. Alright, it's in 2 layers. This is it right here. So we are simply going to, first of all, we'll keep it like this. Alright, we'll stitch. Can you see this? Leaving ½ inch allowance here. We'll stitch on ½ inch this way. The same thing this side. Leaving ½ inch allowance here. We'll stitch this way. The same thing here. We're going to keep it like this. The same thing this side here. By the side here, leaving ½ inch allowance up here. We're going to stitch it downwards like this. Even for this side here, we're still going to keep it like this. Alright, leaving ½ inch allowance up here, and we'll stitch it. Okay, But before then, guys, it's very important that we pin this together. Let us pin this together so that it won't be moving. Let's pin it, okay? Let's use at least 2 pins and pin this together. Second pin here. Alright, so that we'll have it together, okay? So let's get over to the machine. So here, alright guys, so as you can see, we have leaving ½ inch here, run a stitch here, leaving ½ inch here, run a stitch here, leaving ½ inch here, run a stitch here, same thing to this side. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is to, now let me just give us a clue. If you shift this down, can we see that our waistcoat is forming already? Alright, so the next thing for us to do is to still carry this second piece of lining, keep, alright, on this side. The first one we kept on this side, the second one we're going to keep on this side. I'm going to do the same thing, okay? We'll do the same thing we did. Alright, we'll sew here, bring it here, sew here, we'll sew here, and we'll sew here. The same thing we did before. Sew this line, sew this line, sew this line, sew that line. Alright guys, so you can see we stitched here. I use a contrasting color of thread so that you can see the stitches. We also stitched here. Same thing with this side, stitched here and stitched here. So it's as if this part is now inside, okay? You see that? So the next thing we're going to do is to stitch the neck. So this is the neck, alright? So this ½ inch allowance we left here, we're going to stitch on it round, okay? We're going to stitch on this ½ inch. Guys, I hope this is simple and you are understanding. We're going to stitch on this ½ inch from here to here. Then even on the sleeves, okay? We're going to stitch on that same allowance from here down to the end of this sleeve, alright? The armholes, sorry, the armhole rather. So even for this armhole this side, we'll stitch, alright, on ½ inch allowance down to the end here. So we are stitching 3 things. We are stitching this arm, alright, up to here. We are stitching the neck from here all the way to here. We are still stitching the second arm, alright, from here, see, from here all the way to the end, alright, all the way to here. So let's go and do that. Alright guys, so we can see I run the stitch on the neck just like I told us, using that ½ inch allowance I left here. Run that stitch round. This is the other side of the arm. You can see I run the stitch on that same allowance, ½ inch allowance I left there. You see the second side of the sleeve of the arm as well, where I left ½ inch allowance, I run the stitch. You can see all the way to here. Alright, so the last stitch we are going to make on this waistcoat is this, okay? Watch carefully. I'm going to stitch this. You can see when I was stitching this, I didn't stitch to the end, I stitched and stop halfway. This side to the same thing, I stitch and stop halfway. So we're going to run this stitch here to the end, then we will sew it on ½ inch allowance. When we reach about 2 inches to get to the end line, we'll stop, alright? So we'll sew from here on ½ inch allowance like this, then we will stop somewhere here, alright? So guys, this is what I'm saying. I've stitched here, you see, to here, and then I stopped here, leaving this allowance for us to pull out, you know, the body of the waistcoat which is inside. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to see the lining was longer than the body of the waistcoat. As you can see here, the lining is longer than the body. See the body inside, okay? So we're going to fold this allowance like this from where the body started, and we're going to run a stitch here. The same thing this side, we also fold it like this and run a stitch here. Alright guys, so as you can see, I folded here upward, run a stitch here, further this way, run a stitch here. So we are done stitching our waistcoat. What is remaining now is for us to now use this allowance we left here to bring out the body of the waistcoat, which is inside. All right. So guys, can we see what I'm saying? This is simple and straightforward. So you can see our waistcoat coming out. Can we see this? Here we have our waistcoat, simple as this. Guys, so we can see our waistcoat, simple, simple, and simple and simple. This chest we are looking for is 42, and we have our 42 here. All right. So with sewing waistcoat is as simple as this. Okay. So down here, return to the back. We just need to pull this allowance inside. See that half inch you sew there? Just do it like this. We'll press it properly. And our waistcoat is ready. This place where we have our allowance, where we came out, we just use our hemming gun, keep it here, press it. Alright. See this? We have our waistcoat ready. So guys, making waistcoat is as simple as what you have seen me do here. It's very simple. There's nothing difficult with waistcoat, okay? There's nothing difficult. And my waistcoat mostly I don't like putting rope at the back of my waistcoat. What I normally do is I normally give it a dart here, right? See here, this dart should be at least 4 inches. This is 4 inches. Okay, this is half inch I'm holding here. This is 4 inches, alright? And from down, I normally mark it at 9.5 inches. So this is 9.5 from the beginning point here. So here, 9.5. So I'm going to make a stitch here, alright? And I'll do the same thing to this side. Hope you understand. I just folded it like this. From here to here, 4 inches, here to here, 9.5 inches. And I'm going to make a stitch here. Alright guys, so actually I'm using this sky blue thread so that you can see the stitch very well. It's an L-shaped stitch like this, and then downwards like this, downwards. I'm going to remove this stitch and replace with a black stitch, okay, with a black thread. I use this sky blue thread so that you can see what I'm talking about, okay. It is that simple. Alright, so just press it this way. Alright, just press it like this on both sides. And our waistcoat is set. Alright guys, so if this video made sense, if you learned from this video, please hit the subscribe button, click the like button, share the video, and I would really appreciate, guys. This is simple and straightforward, guys. This is simple, very simple. So making a waistcoat is this simple, guys. Turn to the front and look what we have here. Very simple and straightforward. Very simple and straightforward. Very simple and straightforward, guys. So if this video made sense, if this video helped you, if you enjoy watching this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Welcome to Nat Fashion Hub, the best fashion channel in the world. Thank you.